Hey, funny homies, it's week 16, and on today's show, we discuss this past week's injuries, ads, drops, and who to add off waivers. It's playoff time. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Fake Football Guy Show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Campos, and alongside of me is the one and only co-host, definitely not the doc, Dustin DL Lingaman. What up, DL?
What up, my guy? Yes,
There we
I'm
go.
not
I
the
like it.
dog. I don't know why would anyone think
I don't know what
that.
the fuck
He's
you're talking about.
stupid.
Oh, man, crazy.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. It's playoff time, baby. I love it. It's week
Ooh, I
2 of the
love it.
playoffs.
This is
Yeah,
where.
I got a lot of good news and a lot of bad news, but we'll get into that in just a
Oh, there was a
moment.
lot of
DL.
bad news. There was a lot of bad
Yeah,
news.
a lot, a lot.
All
Let's
right,
get some of these particulars out of the way real
sure.
quick. DL, it's week 16. Can you believe it?
No, honestly, it's like you blink. Like you're in September, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh man, just need to get 4 wins, and then bam, like you're in second place, and you got to buy the first week. It's crazy.
true, true. Some people like me needed that buy, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's remind the people, DL, at home, if they want to follow us on X or Twitter, DL, where can they do that?
Tweet FFG.
Awesome, simple, easy. Follow us. Help a brother out or two
Yeah.
brothers. DL, what is the hashtag that we tried so desperately to get trending? I think we got it trending one time so far. What is the hashtag, DL, to get people to send us those questions?
Ask us FFG. Maybe we need a new hashtag, bro.
Maybe
Maybe
we
it's
do,
just
bro.
because you gotta like capitalize ask, you gotta capitalize the
Yeah.
U, and then you gotta like keep it on FFG. And then there's some other acronyms that of other shows, so maybe they get confused, and those guys are stealing our fans. I think
Mm,
that's what it is, bro. Because I know people are asking questions, we're just not seeing it. So
hey,
maybe
we're just not. Yeah.
maybe two guys in a no. I don't know. We can work on
Whoa,
it.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hey,
Damn,
that's
that's a good one. Hey,
saucy.
but if you have a
Thank
better
you.
hashtag, something you think we should use,
That's a good
drop it
one.
in the comments.
Yeah.
Drop it
Drop
in
it in the comments,
the
guys.
comments. Let us know. We'll
I'll
use
read
it.
it out loud.
Best one. We'll go ahead and use it. You probably will read it out loud.
I
Yeah.
will.
Let's, let's let the people know if they want to send us emails. Where can they send those emails?
Really simple. Ask us ffg@gmail.com.
Awesome. See, it's
Yeah.
just the same theme. Maybe we should change up the theme. Maybe we should get a new email.
No, because like
Yeah.
the email's good. I think the hashtag because you got to capitalize, not capitalize.
Yeah.
It's a
True.
little much. And it's like if
True.
I got a quick question, or if it's like 11:59. Like, oh shoot, okay, I want to ask one more time. You know,
Mhm.
just saying.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. DL, lastly, if people want to send over text messages, phone calls, live on air, DL, what is my cell phone number?
Super simple 708-655-4508. And yeah, hit JC up, anytime. Maybe over the Christmas holiday, you want to say
Yeah,
Feliz
over
Navidad,
the Christmas
motherfucker.
holiday.
Um, whatever.
Feliz
Whatever.
Navidad, motherfucker. I love it.
Feliz Navidad, motherfucker.
I
I
love it.
love
That's a
it.
good
That was
one.
my
That's a good one.
yeah.
Well, anyway, Funny Homies
Yeah.
Jam Pack Show. But please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and
Smash!
that notification button. That way you know when we go live. We are on Instagram, Facebook, X, and anywhere that you listen to your podcast. I think we're live on YouTube right now. So
We are. We're
everywhere.
live on YouTube and X. And yeah, old school sports. Oh no, we got to send our link so he remembers to post it. So we're not live on that
That sucks.
because
Well,
we have to do all the heavy lifting. But anyways,
probably won't watch this
glad to be
anyway.
on
So
old school
yeah,
sports media.
glad for this 1 year that we're on it.
Yep, it's gonna be great. Sure, he's watching live right now. Just like, anyways, so dude, playoff times. You're in 7 leagues. Where are
Yes.
you at? Did you make it? Are you still in it? Are you done for the year?
Let's be clear. I only did not make the playoffs in one league, your league. So 6 of them I was in.
Okay.
I have
That's
been eliminated in 3 of those 6 leagues. deal.
Womp 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 womp. No, that's okay though. I mean,
Wow.
half. I mean, it's better than like, oh, I got bounced in all of them, or like you make it to the Super Bowl in like 3 out of your 4 leagues and don't even win. I mean,
I mean, if I told you that you won half of your leagues, you'd be pretty damn happy, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully I can win the other half. Let's
So
see.
how are we
It was a
feeling? How are we feeling
depressing
about those
weekend.
teams?
Uh, to be honest with you, I thought I had one of the best teams in one of those leagues, and I got some shitty performances from some good players. Let's actually get into that,
Yeah,
deal.
let's talk about those. Let's talk about those.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
What was one of
let's.
I'll go first. Shitty
Yeah,
performer. Let's start with Thursday night, right? Jawan Jennings, really excited to start him. Yeah, he sucked. He got like 3 points. Then I started Guerrero.
Brendo. Yeah,
No, there you go. I started him because I was like, damn, he carved up the Bears. He's gonna go to
Eddie
town.
Guerrero, baby, Latino Heat.
Nope. Not even fucking close.
Nothing,
Puka
nothing.
Nacua was okay, but the shitter of the week on that game was Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
Um,
did you have him? Because I had him.
no, thank the good Lord.
Yeah, you
Um,
took him from me, you bastard.
but yeah, he shit the bed. Giant goose egg, which is like really, I was just like, whoa, that's pretty bad. Then let's talk about Jonathan Taylor, right? You're watching, and mind you, this playoffs, right? We're all excited. We're like, okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh my gosh, he busts out a 44-yard run with a touchdown. Oh, wait, no, he dropped the ball
Yeah,
before he crossed it. So that sucked.
yeah.
And maybe there's some hot defenses, which I'll get into some of the studs I had, but you had the Bengals, right? Oh my gosh, they're just destroying it. Oh my gosh, they got it. They're going. Pick six. No, they didn't cross. They let go of the ball before they crossed the line, too. So you didn't get the touchdown. And then let's talk about Darnell. Or no, who was that? Was a
Mooney.
we'll talk about Mooney. Sorry, I don't want to give away my duds of the week.
You didn't give away your duds when you talked about Cooper Cup, you mother.
No, not yet. I got some other duds, and then we had Darnell Mooney last game. Just like here we go, baby. Here we go. Got Mooney. Get 10 points. No, he would be wrong. Get another goose egg. So a lot of goose eggs. A lot of like players just not finishing, which was like it was nuts. It was like a lot this week. Like, you may
Yeah,
hear like
it
one
really was.
guy like, oh, he had a rough game, or like Jawan Jennings, like, oh man, like that sucked because the weather played a part, right? Like, let's not take that
Yep.
away. Like it played a big part. And um, but man, oh fucking man. Or like let's say you were doing awesome and you played against somebody who had that and they happen to have Lamar Jackson on their
Oh
team.
man,
And yeah, that's how you lost because Lamar went off and the rest of their
you know what
team
sucks?
just sucked ass.
You know what sucks? I
Sucked.
have Lamar on the teams where I had a bye, and that wasted week was on my
Yeah,
bye.
that's
Yeah,
that's what
my
kind of
bye.
sucks. Or,
Yeah.
Kamara, who had a great game, and
Oh, he
then
got hurt, right?
he hurt
Son of
his
a bitch.
his groin. His
Did he?
groin. And what really sucks about that, what really like screws the pooch about that is that oh yeah, he doesn't play until Monday night.
Oh, but you're not
Monday
gonna know,
night. I'm
folks.
benching
Go
him.
pick up Kendra Miller. Go pick him up.
Yeah.
You never know.
Or
Pick him up.
start Brian Thompson, who's gonna be a tough hell sledding, but I'm benching him. I'm not even gonna play that game. I'm not gonna do that to myself. I'm not. I'm not gonna do it to myself because there's
Okay.
no way in hell he's playing. I just don't see it. Maybe the doc will know. I don't think he's gonna
Yep.
play. I don't.
So who were your studs and duds, deal?
Okay, let's get into it. So let's start it off. First of all, just want to say that out of my 4 leagues, right, I was on bye for one of them. So I only had 3 going. It was 2 out of 3. So that was awesome. And one of those was a revenge game. It was in your
Oh,
family league.
hey, let me text him. Go ahead.
Lord
The Lord,
motherfucking Goose. Lord Goose, right? The guy that comes on our show and he
the
was
Lord,
talking. Let's see if he's in the chat. Let me
my
see if he's
Lord.
even. Oh, he's not. He isn't watching right now. He's not watching. I wonder why. Oh, I know why. Because
Can
I
we bring him
beat
live on air?
that ass. I beat
You
his
want him live
ass.
on air?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
The man always answers my calls.
Okay. Good. Good to know. You
What
said this.
up? Hey, what up, player? Hey, you're live on air. Yeah, right now. I know you're probably busy getting it in because that's all you do, like a jackrabbit. But hey, so what
Except for
happened with
last
you and
week.
Dustin?
Well, you know what? Well, I messed up on the defense. That totally took a huge announcement for me, which is usually not the case when I pick up.
You're gonna have to translate. It's like coming in. All I heard is like
Uh,
I messed
he
up.
said he messed up on defense. He said that he didn't make the right stream on defense,
Oh,
and
that was it.
he
Oh, you
said
know
that he's
what?
bending the knee to you. He said
Oh, I appreciate that, Lord Goose.
you were the better man. He said this week.
Oh, wow. I like the
Yep, yep.
flatteries.
He also said fuck Chuba Hubbard and fuck DK Metcalf. Is what he said.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, that's what
You
he
know what
said.
my favorite part of playing him this week was the
What
revenge
was your
game,
favorite
right?
part? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because he kicked my ass. But you know,
He
on
did kick your ass.
ESPN,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
you can like taunt them. So I was
Oh
like
yeah, you
taunting him
taunted
the
him.
whole like thing, and
That's
I was like,
hilarious. He said he was
"Don't
taunting
forget."
you on ESPN app. That's hilarious. All right, well, Josie, we appreciate you for being part of the show.
Yeah,
Sorry
thanks,
that
bro.
better luck next year.
Yeah, there's always next year, buddy.
All right.
Um.
Yeah,
So, anyways,
it's all
I
good. Send
just fucking
$20 our way. So just a heads up.
yeah, because you suck balls.
That's it. All right,
Um.
peace. Bye.
Bye. So yeah, I beat him by like a good 80 points. Like it wasn't just
Oh my
like,
God.
oh yeah.
Oh my God.
So let's take a look at
What?
that. I'm gonna you know what? Hold on. I'm waiting for it to load up here. Okay,
By
it's
80
loaded.
points. I didn't know. He said my defense was bad. I'm like, oh, it was
No,
a close
no, no.
game.
That's why I was like, oh, your defense was bad, huh?
Your
Oh,
whole
okay.
lineup was bad. The
Oh,
team
your
wasn't
whole
ready.
lineup. Okay, yeah, sure. All
Oh
right.
my goodness. That's
So
crazy.
let's jump into this a little bit. Let's jump into this. So, um, hold on. I gotta add this because this is a cool new feature. Oh fuck it. Anyways, so if you take a look, right there, I'm not bullshitting.
Oh my
191
God.
to 110. So I beat him by 81 points, right? So this is some of my studs. So this kind of falls in the line. I got Jalen Hurts, who had a hell of a game, 32 points. You had Joe Burrow. Joe Mixon shit the bed on him, so I don't know why you didn't bring that up. And he got drop tackled. So there's another guy to be concerned about. I had James Conner, who fucking went off. So that was cool of Arizona because Kyler didn't. Yeah, let's see. He said, fuck Chuba Hubbard. Yep, he was right because he only got 8 points. But he forgot to mention that DK Metcalf sucked ass. Oh, George Kittle had a bad game. For some reason, he started Jacoby Meyer. But if you notice here, we talked about streaming defenses, and I want to talk about this. Atlanta, for me, and the Chiefs both got me 22 fucking points. So that made
Jesus.
up for the Garindo debacle and the Juwan Jennings because that fucking sucks. So yeah, Alvin Kamara had a great game, but really the outliers would have to be Jalen Hurts for myself, James Conner, and AJ Brown, who was whining and just letting everybody know that he was the guy. But the dilemma is that I also had Aaron Jones on my bench, Brian fucking Thomas Jr., who got like 5 fucking touchdowns, bro.
Yeah,
Or
that's
not
crazy,
5.
bro.
He had like 3.
I like
Anyways,
3. Yeah.
still, that was the first game. I was like, huh, I should have started him over Jawan. But yeah, so anyways, revenge game. I beat the crap out of Lord Goose. Felt good because he destroyed me all year long.
All season. Yeah.
All season. So
Cool.
so those are my studs and duds. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. No, that's lucky for you. Sounds like you got some good studs.
Yeah.
My studs this past week. My biggest stud was Amon-Ra St. Brown, who went for over 30 fantasy points.
Good
He had
game.
193 receiving yards and a touchdown. Did have a fumble, he did, but he had 14 receptions on 18 targets. Think about that. It's crazy. 18.
Yeah, dude.
I also want to give a quick stud shout out to another fantasy guy that I really needed to step up for me, and he did. CD fucking Lamb, bro.
Oh yeah,
A
I saved that
monster
one.
game. Yeah, he had 9 receptions for 116 yards and a touchdown. Huge. Needed it. Let's go to my duds. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, that was another thing I was gonna add is that some of these guys are playing for incentives, and CD
Sure.
Lamb is one of them. If he gets, I forget, I don't know exact numbers, but if I think he's like 500 yards short and a touchdown, and he gets like 2.5 million or something like that.
Oh, he's
But go
going
ahead.
for it.
Oh,
yeah,
hell
with a
yeah.
bum wing. He's gonna play like this with a bum wing the
Yeah,
whole
bro,
time.
and they ain't making the
Oh, bro.
playoffs. So like, I'm gonna get my
Hell
cash.
nah.
Go
Let's
ahead.
get his money. That's a fucking. That's. He's got a
So
few
is Mike
whips he's
Evans.
gonna buy.
So is
Yeah, I remember Mike Evans had one. Yeah.
Mike Evans is really close.
Who just had 100 receptions? Somebody just. Oh, Devontae Adams just got
Devontae
100
Adams,
touchdowns.
yeah,
Bro,
he's
what a
real
game
close.
he had! My God.
And then there's Tony Pollard, who's right on the cusp as well too of getting, I think 2.5 or 3 million, something like that, if he gets like 500 yards and a tutty.
All right, you ready for my duds?
Sure, sorry.
All right, here goes my duds. Najee Harris, 14 rushing yards, 1.5 total fantasy points. Isaiah Pacheco had 15 receiving yards and 32 rushing yards for 5 fantasy points. Now, who else?
Glad I didn't trade
Cooper
for him,
Cup,
though.
0 fantasy points.
Hmm.
Nick Westbrook Akine, who has been good all year, so I'm not mad at him, but I'm mad at him.
Dude,
Finished
last
with
week he fucked
9
up
yards. 9 yards for 2
Ooh,
points.
Not even a point. Oh, he got
Yeah.
2 points? Okay, cool.
Yeah, he got because 2
PPR.
receptions.
All right.
You know, 2 receptions. So yeah, and then lastly, another dud, but I'm not gonna call him a dud. I'm gonna wave the white flag for him. I'm gonna say thank you for your service because he got hurt. David Montgomery.
Yeah.
Not mad at him. He got hurt. And
I was
once a bear, always a bear. Love him.
I was on a bye, and the team that won actually has him on his team, the same team that also drafted Christian McCaffrey. And he's like, "Oh, why can't I never get lucky?" I'm like, "Dude, you're in the playoffs, bro. Like, what are you
Exactly. What
it's
you talking
fantasy,
about?
dude. Like, go
Yeah.
fuck yourself, bro."
Yeah. Go for
I noticed that you didn't mention Kyler fucking Murray.
No, I didn't start him, so I kind of
started.
already knew.
Well,
Jekyll and Hyde.
yeah, no, I started him. Never mind. I started him. Started him 2
Yeah.
leagues, and one of them I lost it. So that sucks.
Oh.
I'm really nervous. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should keep rolling.
Who's on your waiver wire? Let's do this live.
Who's on my waiver? We're just gonna pop
Your
down the waivers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. We're gonna do this live. All right, cool. Give me 2.5 seconds, and
Yeah,
I
take your
will
time.
get there. Well, we got a lot of people watching. I don't know if they really care, or is this?
No, they don't. But we're gonna show them how this is done. So you have Kyler.
Okay.
And who's your other quarterback? Probably only have one. maybe
Bo
two?
Nix. I got Bo Nix.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's talk Bo real quick. He has the Chargers this week. Solid defense. Ranked 11.
Actually, in this league, I don't have Bo Nix. I have him in a different. Oh, I have Purdy. That's who I have.
Purdy.
I have Purdy on this team.
I've never liked Brock Purdy, but go ahead. And who's available on the waiver wire?
So available on the waiver wire, we got Bo Nix, who's like number 12 for the week. Anthony Richardson, who's number 14. No. Matthew Stafford, number 15.
Any matchups, please.
Okay, so Matthew Stafford is going against the Jets. Bo Nix is going against the Chargers. Thursday night game too, by the way. Okay. And Anthony Richardson is going against Tennessee.
You want
so
the
not
truth?
really.
Want the truth? Give me Anthony Richardson this week.
Oh, dude, that's no.
Again, no. Tennessee. Tennessee's back.
No. No. See, I'm all for it. If I like, no. I would probably go Bo Nix if shit.
Well, the Titans offense, the Titans just in general gave up 37 points this past week to the Bengals. And the Bengals are not good.
I'd rather go
Titans
with
are 3 and 11.
If I'm gonna make a change and just like fucking
against
like
the
throw
Jets?
it.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not that good.
All right.
I think they're sus, dude. They're like right in the middle. They're 17th against quarterbacks for points. So they're not horrible, but they're not great. The Chargers are 20th. Obviously, depending on the format.
Okay.
And then hold on. Let's now I'm curious. You got me curious. You shouldn't have done this live because now I'm going to look at it all. And now we got to waste time. Not waste time, but you got to let me So Tennessee's 11th against quarterbacks. So out of all of them, yeah, I guess it would be Bo Nix. So
Hmm. Want to do a side bet?
wait, what happened to our other side bet?
Oh, I'm looking
Anthony
right at it. I'm looking right at it.
Antonio may play. What was our bet?
Aiden O'Connell, Antonio. Aiden O'Connell. Our bet
Antonio.
was
He
I said
plays.
that he wouldn't play for 3 weeks, so this is going on week 2, and you're
And
saying he does.
he's
You're saying he
yeah.
does. So if he plays, you win that bet. So that's a 6-pack.
Yes.
We
No,
also made
that
another bet.
was the double quarter pounder.
Oh, you're right, double quarter pounder. You're right. The
Okay,
other bet
cool,
was a 6-pack bet. I had T. Higgins this week, and you had Marvin Harrison Jr.
This past week.
And T. Higgins, T. Higgins blew him out.
Fuck
Sorry.
you, Kyler. Fuck me again, right in the ass.
Jesus.
All right, bet.
All right. Well, anyway,
once Antonio, Andrew, what the fuck's his name?
Marvin Harrison. Oh,
No.
Aiden O'Connell.
Aiden. Once he plays, then we'll go to Target, we'll grab a sixer, and there's a McDonald's right next door, and we'll film it live. We'll just sit there, drink
go
beer,
live.
and eat burgers in McDonald's until we get kicked out or the cops call on us. But it'll be worth it.
Down. Super down.
All right, man. So let's hop over to the news. There's some breaking news that happened today. We had Kirk Cousins is being benched, at least for this week, for rookie QB Michael Penix Jr., bro. So
I like Michael Penix Jr.'s game too. He throws a beautiful deep ball.
He was looking good in preseason. And not only that, everyone gave him so much shit for drafting Michael Penix Jr. Like, remember that? Everyone's like, oh, you're an idiot. Why would you do that? Blah, blah, blah. They're not looking too stupid anymore. And I think he like whispered, he's like, yeah, Cousins sucks. So we're just going to do this real quick. But don't say anything. It was like one of those. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited to see that. Although, real question is, do you think that it's either boom or bust, bro? Like, that's either going to boost those receivers, right? Because you got London and who's the other guy? Not Mooney. There's another guy.
Mooney.
Drake London and Mooney.
Yeah, Mooney.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know they have Mooney, but I thought he was like.
They have Ray McLeod. They have Kyle Pitts. That's it. That's all I know off the top of my head.
Well, anyways, nonetheless, like at least Michael Penix Jr. can fucking move in the pocket and run around a little bit. Like, I mean, Kirk Cousins has. I mean, it's been bad.
Man. I didn't think he was gonna fall off this fast, bro.
Yeah,
fast.
It's like the Peyton Manning days when, like, towards the end, when he was on Denver, and that was the year I finally got him. Like, fuck yeah, I want to win. No, oh, it was ugly. Oh, it was just so bad. It was just so rough, and you keep thinking he's not, folks. He's not. So I guess my question would be like, is that somebody that, like, honestly, would you take a swing at just for shits and giggles, or no?
In a dynasty league, I would probably add him. I mean, he's probably not available in dynasty. Let's be real. But in a really deep league, I mean, whatever. You got an open spot. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was like everything was blowing up. My phone was like ping, ping, ping. Like everybody was going nuts about that.
Yeah, that came out today, right?
Yeah, it literally came maybe 2 hours before we went live. So, Cardinals safety Budda Baker signs a 3-year, $54 million extension.
Oh wow!
So that's pretty. I mean, Arizona's
I've been a fan of his game for quite some time.
Yeah. Quarterback Teddy Bridgewater. This is kind of cool story. Teddy Bridgewater plans to return to the NFL after coaching his alma mater to the state title. So, if you guys didn't know this, Teddy Bridgewater went back and coached his high school team, right? They made it to the state finals. And yeah, it was like super awesome, exciting. And then he was actually, all of a sudden, questions were coming out. They're like, oh, are you going back to NFL? He's like, yeah, I just wanted to help my high school like win state. Like I just wanted to help them.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And then they're like, they knew it all the time. There wasn't any like, oh, no questions asked. Like that's pretty much what my goal was. And then when he was pressed to like what team or what he's looking for, obviously he didn't answer, but just thought it was a kind of cool story, man. Like
super cool. What?
Yeah, man. I mean, He's a pro, and then he made it. You know, he made it. He went back
I
and
hope it works
took a
out.
little
Yeah,
break.
I hope it works out for him.
Yeah. Great. Anyways, so that's the news, my guy. That was the news. Nothing too crazy. There's some injury news, but obviously I wanted to save that for the doc, just because he got pissed last time when I like jumped the gun and he's like, "What? I always have to talk about Christian McCaffrey all the time." I was like, "Bro, you get what you get, and we're not even paying you, so stop yelling at me. You don't even have
You
to
get
show up."
what you get. I love it. Oh,
It's
there's a
the
knock on my door.
it's the ghosts of Christmas past or crap. Anyways,
Hey, yeah, DL. I think we should get there. I think we should talk about injuries. It's time to talk about some injuries just before we get into waivers. There were a few injuries this week in fantasy, and some really big ones to some really big fantasy players. Now, the doc is here and he's ready to go. I'll go ahead and throw it over to the doc. Doc, I want to jump over right away to Cleveland. There were some big injuries there. What can you tell us about what happened in Cleveland?
oh goodness, I dropped the mic here. It's been a crazy week. So for Cleveland, Cedric Tillman,
Mm,
still questionable with a concussion. Browns coach Kevin Stefanski said Monday that he's hopeful that Tillman will be available for Sunday's game against the Bengals. Next, we have David Njoku, who was a late scratch. He also said that on Monday or yesterday that he's hopeful because Njoku's dealing with a hamstring. Will be able to suit up for Sunday's game against the Bengals. It's really hopeful in Cleveland.
hopefully.
I mean, there's nothing
He's
to
a
do
tough
there,
guy.
so
He
I guess all
usually
you
is.
got is hope. And then lastly, this is kind of sad, especially if you drafted him and you were hoping out, got him on IR, but Nick Chubb is out for the rest of the season.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, he broke his foot. So yeah, Monday he doesn't expect Chubb to require surgery to address the left broken foot he suffered. Um, but yeah, so no surgery, but yeah, his left foot is broken. Man, that guy can't
I'm starting to look good too,
buy
man.
a break.
He had some nice runs where I was like, dang, I think he's, looks good. But
Yeah, did you see that one where it's like, wow, he's going down the sideline, and then all of a sudden you realize that it was Ford
like,
and
oh, it's
not
Jerome Ford. Yeah,
not
that's what I
Chubb?
thought.
Yeah,
You're right.
everybody thought that.
You're right.
Another breaking sad news, which you kind of talked about in your duds. Detroit Lions running back David Montgomery is out for the rest of the season. Head coach Dan Campbell said Monday that Montgomery will undergo season-ending surgery to address an MCL sprain to his right knee. So
Mm,
that, man, that's
sucks, man.
that really does suck. He's having a great year. Like he got a
Yeah.
touchdown in every single game this year. Every
Yep.
game. Like you
Yep.
knew he was going to get a tutty, and then he give it Jamar Gibbs your turn, and now Gibbs is going to have that workload. So
Yep.
that'll be interesting. Heading over down to Florida, Jacksonville Jaguars tight end Evan Ingram. Um, he messed up his shoulder. This came kind of late. This came in like on a Saturday morning when this was mentioned, but he was placed on IR. Demetrius, no, that was it. They just said like that's it. His shoulder's done and he's out. So that kind of sucks because if you were hoping to kind of get to the Super Bowl, you'd be wrong. Some updates for Kansas City Chiefs. First update before we get to the big news. Hollywood Brown, he's a wide receiver, could play this week. The Chief listed Brown, who's been dealing with a shoulder, as a full participant in today's practice.
What do you think? You think he'll go?
I think so, man. Like they just got like this positive vibe around it.
Okay.
I did stash him in all of my leagues because I was like, hey, why
Okay.
not? I mean, he's part of the Chiefs, so why not? The shitty part is, or the sucky part, is that Patrick Mahomes is dealing with a mild high ankle
Exactly
sprain.
it. Yep.
mild high ankle sprain, which I've never heard before. Usually it's high ankle sprain, low. So I think they're trying to like play around with it to give you guys hope. But anyways, he did practice today. McCombs was listed as a full participant in a short practice week because keep in mind he's going to be playing Wednesday, Christmas Day, December 25th. Hopefully Netflix figured out their pixelation issue. So it's a high stakes showdown against the Houston Texans. He exited Sunday's game against the Browns after being injured. This is where it gets kind of weird. He said he doesn't know if he'll be able to play. That's not that weird. Oh, wait, he's playing this Saturday? Oh, shit. I was way off. He plays this Saturday. My bad. I forgot. Oh, yeah, because we're in that. Awesome. We're in that weird playoff thing. Okay. But he does know that he does know what he'll have to do if he does play. I want to be able to move, quote unquote, from Mahomes. I want to be able to move. I want to be able to get out of the way. Mahomes said, addressing Texans broadcast or adding the Texans have a dangerous pass rush. The Texans have the second most sacks in the NFL this season with 45, just behind Denver Broncos. Oh,
A lot of freaking sacks. Jesus.
Heavy decisions being made there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
I
you think
I think he's going to suit up. I think he will.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. They'll give him some of that
They'll give him
Toradol or
something because they're like, no way they're going to let what's the backup is the Red Rifle. No, the other Red Rifle. Former
who is the
QB.
backup?
Former QB for the Eagles. His name is escaping me.
Nick Foles? I thought he retired.
No. No. QB.
Yeah, Nick Foles. Carson Wentz talking about.
Carson Wentz, but he wasn't the backup. He was the former QB. Anyways, so Carson Wentz is the backup on the Chiefs. So hero ball, here we go. That's why I'm excited for Hollywood Brown because hey, Anyways, moving on. We're gonna go over to the Las Vegas Raiders. Sincere McCormick. Probably last time I'll ever talk about him.
Yeah.
He headed to the locker room. And yeah, he's pretty much done for the season because he said on his Instagram this morning that he plans to be back next season on the practice squad. Aiden O'Connell, here's an update. Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce. That's why. Antonio Pierce said Tuesday that O'Connell knee is trending upwards to play Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Nice.
Looking for that.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Quarter pounder.
Wait,
I thought I made the bet with Dustin.
Well, he's excited as well. He told me about it, and he hasn't had one of those. And I cleared him. I was like, "Listen, man, you've had a good year. You've been working out, been eating healthy, kind of. So yeah, you're good to go. But anyways, let's talk about the LA Chargers. Justin Herbert is questionable. Bringing this up just because it is that playoff time. Questionable with an ankle. He was limited participant in Tuesday's practice session. Will Disley is also questionable with the shoulder. Did not practice Tuesday. So I think Herbert would be okay. But obviously, you're in the playoffs. If you had him, got to pay attention. Going back to Florida, we're going to talk about Jalen Waddle with the Miami Dolphins is questionable. Dolphins head coach Mike McDonald said Monday that the knee injury Waddle sustained during the team's Week 15 loss to the Texans is, quote, not a major, not surgery related. So that's cool. So ice that bitch. Some updates for the New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr is doubtful. Yeah, he's doubtful. Carr, who was out last week and probably this week with a concussion, recently underwent further examination of his fractured left hand, non-throwing hand, by the way, and is considered a few weeks away from being cleared to make contact, making it unlikely that he'll play again this season. Well, shit. And this one sucks. Running back Alvin Kamara is questionable.
Oh yeah, this one sucks.
This one sucks a lot, and I would be very cautious with this. Saints interim head coach Darren Rizzi, I love that, the Rizzo, said Monday that Kamara groin, his boys, has been diagnosed with an abductor injury after initial medical imaging resulted. So that means the balls are like this.
Shut up. That's crazy, Doc.
What is like X? Follow me. We're gonna go over to Washington for the Seattle Seahawks. Kenneth
Oh, that was
Walker.
really good.
I know, right? Okay, that was just on the fly too. I didn't even practice that. Seattle Seahawks. Kenneth Walker, the third running back. Just an update. Mike McDonald said Walker's calf, owie, had a good workout Monday, but the running back status remains in limbo. So, if you have
One shot,
the other running back,
one opportunity. Oh,
might be a little bit might want to watch this because honestly,
Zach
Charbonnet. Thank you. Charbonnet, if Kenneth Walker comes back, it's going to be Splitsville. I'm just telling you right now. So you're not going to see the production that you saw a couple of weeks ago where he destroyed and probably got you into the playoffs. So look forward to pivot off that ass. Then we got the quarterback, Geno Smith. Coach McDonald said Monday that the tests performed on Smith's right knee, so he banged up his knee in that and left the game by the way. It wasn't just like after, it was like he left. Were positive. And the Seahawks hope to see him practice throughout the week. All right. So fire up DK Metcalf because he had a hell of a game. And last but not least, we're going to talk about the Washington Commanders, a guy that we've been recommending, or the boys have been recommending off waivers. Zach Ertz, tight end, is questionable because he's dealing with a concussion. He did leave in the second quarter, I want to say early second quarter. Zach Ertz won't return to Sunday's game, and so obviously with a concussion. So we've talked about concussions before. They're hit or miss, depends on how practice goes. So there you go. By the way, Feliz Navidad, motherfucker. I hope
Hanukkah.
you have.
I know to celebrate.
Shalom. I do Festivus.
Festivus.
Yeah. So I have some grievances
you and
about
Kramer, huh?
you. No.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Well, enough of that. Enough of that. Let's get over to what you guys have all been waiting for. Enough of the doc. Enough of his crummy advice. I did have a question for him. I think he's gone. I will run it by Dustin because I know he talks to the doc a lot more than I do. I have a question.
What'd you want, bitch? What'd you want?
Oh, hey, what's going on, Doc? So I did have a question, Doc. So just because you went into the Alvin Kamara injury in depth, if you were a betting man, what you got a percentage on whether he'd play or not? What do you think? Will he go? Will he not?
2%. 2%.
Because
honestly,
he doesn't go.
Doesn't go because why? What's he playing for? The Saints are going to get to the playoffs.
Playing for my fantasy team. The fuck.
Yeah, exactly. He's on a lot of fantasy teams. It's probably why you're in the playoffs because he was having a hell of a season, and they just re-signed him to a contract. So why would you play with that? Why would you risk the biscuit or his biscuit and keep trotting him out there when you're playing for nothing? And your backup quarterback sucks ass anyways. What are they going to do? So all you're doing is leaving him up for injury. I wouldn't be shocked even if they said he's full participant. I could see him be like, we're going to rest him because we have Kendre Moore, who is somewhat good. So,
okay.
That's
all right, Doc. Well, I appreciate you.
My thoughts. Yeah. Once again, Merry Christmas and
Happy Hanukkah to you too. All right, funny homies, it's time to get to the reason why you're here. Let's get to waivers. All right, Funny Homes, it is time to go over waivers. We're going to go ahead and start over at quarterbacks while Dustin comes back. I do think he was giving the doc CPR because the doc was winded. We're going to go ahead and get started with
What? What's so
we'll get started
funny?
with the first quarterback. We're going to go ahead. Well, when you listen back on this you're going to laugh.
Yeah, he said something
Uh,
about CPR, you dickhead.
yeah, anyway, so we're going to go ahead and start it with the first recommendation. My boy, none other than Russell Wilson at quarterback. He is just a tad under 40%
That's
rostered in
right.
fantasy leagues. So, look, the Steelers are having some solid games. And the fact of the matter is the Ravens are struggling on defense. But they did keep Russell Wilson to a season low 6.3 fantasy points back in week 11 when they, when they won against the Ravens. And here's where we're at. Okay, Baltimore's defense this week has been one of the season has been one of the friendliest fantasy QB defenses. It looks like George Pickens is good to go, and he's actually let me ask DL. DL, is George Pickens
This
going
is
to go
going
this week?
great. What?
Is George Pickens going to go this week?
No.
Okay.
Well, something
With
to
that said,
monitor. I'm not 100% because I'm not a doctor.
keep an eye on Pickens. Okay, if he goes, we really like Russell Wilson this week. Otherwise, we do think Wilson has a pretty high ceiling. He has 2 games with 24 or more points this season, and the Ravens have allowed a top 12 fantasy quarterback in 8 of the last 14 games. So, if Russell Wilson's out there, go get him.
Yeah, next guy we're going to go ahead and talk about is Aaron Rodgers, who's being rostered at 28%. And let's face it, guys, all he cares about himself. So this is a perfect opportunity because the Jets aren't going to be in the playoffs. So he can really focus on getting, I don't know, MVP. Oh, no, he can't get an MVP. Yeah, but anyways,
Sucks.
he's a self-centered dude. So Rodgers is not going quietly into an uncertain offseason. He posted a season high 30 fantasy points on Sunday, throwing 289 yards and 3 touchdowns against the lowly Jags. Rodgers was ranked up 600 or yeah, racked up 628 points in the last 2 weeks, fourth most of any QB in that span. So he's going to play. So now he'll have a tougher match going into week 16 against the Rams. The team is battling for a playoff spot, but in a 2 QB league, the Jets QB1 is back on the radar with a late season rally.
Interesting. Very interesting. The next quarterback we're going to go ahead and recommend is Drake May. He's rostered in less than 10% of fantasy leagues. Now the Patriots do keep losing, but May continues to post solid lines. The rookie has scored 17 plus points in 3 of his last 4 games. He ran and threw for a touchdown against the Cardinals on Sunday, and it looks as though he's got a decent little matchup. It's going to be tough against a good defense against the Bills, but they have allowed a top 8 fantasy QB in each of the last 2 weeks. DL, what are your thoughts on Drake May?
Yeah, sure, why not? I don't know. I mean, he is going against the Cardinals. Cardinals haven't been that bad on D. Like they've actually been pretty decent. So, I honestly think it's not a horrible one streaming options. But I'm hoping that you have a lot more on your roster, especially this part of the season when we are in the playoffs. So, this might be like double QB leagues. But I'm not too excited about him the most. So I give him like a C if desperate. Let's go ahead and talk about those running backs because we got Tajay Spears, who's only rostered at 40%. Spears managed just 5 yards rushing off 4 carries on Sundays, but he ran for a score and had another TD. I don't know, JC, if you saw this, like, did you see him like they pretty much he popped the ball like over the line and then the rest of the team just kind of like carried him across and he like held it up like a
No
trophy.
way.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. It was like the best like celebration I've seen. And yeah, he actually helped me get across the finish line in one of my leagues. So was really excited for that. But yeah, moving on. So yeah, he scored a TD on one of his 6 catches for 87 yards. That was enough to make him the fantasy RB3 with 27 points this week. Uh, Now he remains the RB2 in Tennessee behind Tony Pollard. By the way, we kind of touched on this. Tony Pollard is very, very close of hitting his contract bonus.
Oh,
So if Pollard plays, Pollard's kind of dealing with something himself, because he's dealing with an ankle injury. So he's not 100%. So I think Tajay or Spears will get some looks, some touches. But yeah, I anticipated if Tony Pollard is good to go, he's gonna eat this game. So, in case
I
your
like it.
art questions, JC.
I do like that. I'm going to jump into another running back we're going to recommend, Jerome Ford, who we alluded to earlier. He is rostered in less than 30% of fantasy leagues. With Nick Chubb suffering a broken foot, the path is clear for Ford to return to RB1 duties. Ford put up 18.4 points on Sunday against the Chiefs, and he ran for a season high 84 yards and showed his explosiveness on a 62-yard touchdown run, which we all thought it was Chubb, but it was actually Jerome Ford. It won't be a surprise if he provides similar production against a porous Bengals defense in Week 16. Now, let's not forget, Jerome Ford also scored 15 plus fantasy points in 2 games earlier this season while filling in for Chubb, who was making his way back from a knee injury. We think Jerome Ford could be a legitimate RB2 rest of the season.
Sounds good to me. We're gonna touch on Kendre Miller, who's a backup to those New Orleans Saints. Now, when Doc had mentioned that Calvin Kamara hurt his, or he's having a groin injury. I'm not going to be as gross and talk about his balls. So we're talking about hey, Kendre Miller, 1% rostered. So if you're gonna wait and see, this probably would be a good handcuff to grab. I recommend not waiting and seeing till Monday night because, especially right now, we're in the playoffs, bro. So you're one game away from hitting that Super Bowl. So this is kind of like if there's nobody left, if this is your last hope, I would roster him. Obviously, you got a monitored Alvin status, which I don't think is going to improve that much. But Miller is a must roster guy for any RB needy fantasy manager. So, like I just said, the second year running back led the Saints with 9 carries for 46 yards. So that's about 5 yards per carry against the Commanders. Miller doesn't have Kamara's explosiveness of a dual threat ability, but he's a big back with potential to do damage in goal line situations. JC, do you want to talk about some guys to keep an eye on running back
Yeah,
wise?
let's talk about a few guys to keep an eye on. The first is Alexander Madison and Amir Abdullah. Package deal. Now, since McCormick got hurt, as the doc talked about earlier, he exited Monday night's game with an ankle injury, and Abdullah ended up playing 46% of the snaps, while Madison saw 33%. It would be nice if we had an idea of who to start and who to go with, but just based on that snap share, we do think Amir Abdullah might get a chance to be the RB1 for the Raiders. Las Vegas has a juicy matchup against the Jags, DL, and they've allowed the 3rd most fantasy points per game to running backs this season. I'd lean a little bit over, to the Abdullah side, but it could go either way.
Yeah, that's trash on trash. So, speaking of which, well, these guys aren't trash. We're going to talk about wide receivers, and this is definitely a guy that I want to get a piece of. Actually, any piece of the Bills right now, because I think Josh Allen, he can't do wrong. Since he's gotten engaged, he has not thrown an interception.
Since he's gotten engaged.
Yeah, no, real talk. Really. He hasn't thrown an interception at all. So obviously he's feeling pretty good. But we're not talking about him. We're talking about Keon Coleman, who's rostered at 45%. Coleman had 1 reception in his return from his wrist injury on Sunday, but he made it count, catching a deep ball from Josh Allen for a gain of 64 yards. It was a little disappointing to see Coleman targeted just twice all game, but he did lead all Bills wide receivers in snaps. So a little bit bullish when it comes to the rookie's potential. Obviously a boomer bust candidate, particularly with a game against the Patriots or Bullish on the rookie's potential, particularly with the
Going
game
great.
against Patriots wide receivers defense on tap. Yes, I can read.
Go ahead and recommend another receiver, a Green Bay Packer, unfortunately. Romeo Doubs. And he's
Dupes.
rostered in less than 35% of leagues. Welcome back, Romeo. Oh, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? He returned from his 2-week absence due to a concussion and made his presence felt right away against the Seahawks. Dubes had two touchdown grabs, actually, including a highly impressive play. Yo, did you see that one touchdown he did have where he was falling over and grabbed it and rolled into a sick ass touchdown? No, because you don't like the Packers. I get it. I don't like them either. Anyway, I know it's been maddening year to roster Packers receivers with a deep rotation where the
Yeah.
star spotlight seems to rotate within each week. But Green Bay has a matchup to exploit this week against none other than the New Orleans Saints. Now,
Yeah,
they have
Monday
been
night.
very generous to fantasy wide receivers this year. Dubs has seen at least 5 targets in each of his last 6 games, so Jordan Love's going to look his way, and when he does, he performs. Deal?
Yeah, this next I'm shocked that he actually made it onto our list. And you got to be wearing some steel or titanium underpants to start this guy. He is Quentin Johnston. Now, he's had the drop C's all year long, and a lot of people have dropped him. But hey, he's back with a vengeance because he's only rostered at 20%. Even with Led McConkey and Josh Palmer active, Johnson was targeted 10 times on Sunday. With the Chargers chasing points against the Bucks, he caught a TD pass for the 5th time in the last 7 games, and he's now scored 15 plus points in back-to-back weeks. We're not too far removed from his ice cold Fortnite in week 12 and 13. Fortnite. It's Christmas. Anyways, when Johnson was held to a total of 3 points. So keep that in mind. Also, the Chargers have a short week with the Broncos bringing their tough defense to town. See what I did there?
I like it.
Yeah, okay. But Denver is a bit banged up at quarterback right now. Johnson's risky play, but I wouldn't overlook him if your wide receiver depth charts isn't looking so hot.
Yep.
JC.
Starts.
This is
Oh
awesome.
my God. All right, next guy I'm going to recommend is a guy who, interestingly enough, was probably on a ton of benches this past week.
Mm-hmm.
Guy who plays for the Baltimore Ravens, Rashad Bateman, a guy that I've been touting for a few years now, and he kind of always finds a way to make it look bad. Yeah. Hey, it's another boomer bust fantasy receiver, like we just said. I wish we had a safer option for you, but we're talking about the waiver wire here, and this guy is rostered in less than 20% of fantasy leagues.
Because he sucks.
Bateman, who has scored 15 or more fantasy points in 4 times and 7.3 fantasy points or fewer 6 times, so it's literally Jekyll and Hyde. Is out there. He's available. He was on the good side of that dichotomy in a big way on Sunday, racking up a season high 23 fantasy points with 2 touchdowns against the Giants. Baltimore's Week 16 opponent is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they are one of the teams that have kept Bateman in check, holding him to 5 points in Week 11. Yes, there's a chance that he busts, but there's also a chance that he booms. And if he busts, I hope it's all over Dustin's face. DL, who do you got next?
That's inappropriate, and it's Christmas. Talk about chocolate. Okay, anyways, we got Jalen McMillan, which I'm actually really excited about. I think this would probably be my waiver wide receiver pick of the week, if you will, because he's only rostered at 2%, so he's going to be out there. But the rookie appears to be turning that corner. McMillan has put up 18 plus fantasy points in each of the last 2 games, scoring 3 touchdowns in that span, posting his 2 highest yardage totals of the season in consecutive weeks. Side note, or star, or whatever you want to call it, Mike Evans is also very close of hitting his contract bonus. If he gets like 1 more touchdown or 2 or something like that, he gets $3 million. So there's plenty of ball to be passed around, but just kind of keep that in mind. So he was targeted 13 times in that stretch, and he has a favorable matchup against the Cowboys. defense awaiting him. McMillan has a chance to help carry you to the championship game in your fantasy league. I 100% agree with that. I think he would be a really good flex option. And yeah, we've seen 2 games where he went back to back. So that's my take. I don't know, JC, what do you think, dude?
I also like McMillan. It was a guy that I was touting early in the season, probably like in episode 2 or 3, as a guy who. No, I actually lied. I think like episode 4 or 5, around the time that Evans went down with that hamstring injury. Who I thought he was going to step up. He had some games where he was okay, and other games where he was not so hot. But I think he's really coming on now. So I am a McMillan fan. He's a taller wide receiver, so I like the taller wide receivers. All right, next guy we're gonna go ahead and talk about is a guy who get in line here because there's going to be some people after him. Jalen Coker. Lots of lines for sure. Completing the trifecta of rookie wide receivers in this space is Coker. He went undrafted in April, but he's playing like a guy who deserved to be picked. Now he's returning from injury on Sunday to rack up a season high 21 points with an 83-yard bomb being the highlight of his afternoon. He now has 3 double-digit games on his ledger and has a chance to make it 4 against a lowly Cardinals defense. Bryce Young has targeted Coker 6 or more times in 3 of their last 4 games together, and we know Carolina's often behind and chasing points. He's a potential flex option in deep leagues. DL?
Yeah, we're going to talk about old man Adam Thielen, who's rostered at 36%. Now, on my bye week, this is where.
So old.
Yeah. Oh, what? Huh?
Everything hurts.
I'm ready. Yeah. First, let me take my nap. Now, during the bye week, I did some research and I grabbed him because I was like looking at his matchup because his next 3 matchups are the Cowboys, the Cardinals, and the Bucks. So all those defenses are pretty mid, if you will. So he's a really great flex option. He averages about like 10 points at least. So hey, he's good for that. However, Thielen is making up for lost time following his 7-game absence due to a hamstring injury. He appears in space for the 3rd straight week after posting 19 plus fantasy points in consecutive games. But, and this is what we're talking about, this is huge. He's actually been targeted 25 times. 25 times. And he caught 20 of those for 258 yards in the last 3 contests since returning. That's a per game average of 8 targets. We've talked about that in seasons past. Like, that's what you're looking for when you're looking at wide receivers and their production. It's like, how many times are they being targeted? 8 is that number. So he's got 8.3. And he's caught 6.7 catches for 86 yards. Pretty good. Maintaining that pace will be difficult even in an improved Panthers offense. But as I mentioned, he's going to be going up against the Cowboys, the Cardinals, and the Bucks. So definitely some guy that if he's out there, I would grab. Like I said, really great flex option. So yeah, that's what I would say. JZ?
All right, we're going to go ahead and recommend another pairing of wide receivers. First guy is Quentin
Wait, didn't we talk
Johnson,
about these
followed
guys?
by Josh Palmer. Did we?
Yeah, we talked about Quentin Johnson. Dun dun dun
We'll go ahead and jump
dun.
over to the next guy. Ray McLeod, we talked about momentarily just a few minutes ago. He's rostered in less than 10% of fantasy leagues. Now, before I go any further, keep in mind the guy also kicks. I think he returns punts and kicks. So if you get any kind of scoring from there, keep that in mind. And also, if he's able to break one open, because I feel like on many weeks he gets really close, that could really help. There might not be a super high ceiling for McLeod, but he's put up 10 plus fantasy points in each of his last 3 games. And 4 of his last 5, he's averaging 12 fantasy points per game, despite scoring only 1 touchdown. Okay. He led the Falcons with 11 targets and 8 catches on Sunday against the Vikings. And anyone seeing that type of volume deserves our attention. There are a lot of mouths to feed in Atlanta, and McLeod is the team's wide receiver 3. And now he has Michael Penix passing him the ball. Now, Ray McLeod is a faster wide receiver and a guy who can get open downfield. And the one thing that Penix does very, very well is throw that deep ball. So we do recommend Ray McLeod if you need that high ceiling. Deal?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like last week, we thought he would be a good guy too. Talking about tight ends now. We're gonna talk with Brenton Strange, but he's no stranger to us because he's only rostered at 2%. That's probably because we have him. Nope, just kidding. With Evan Ingram out for the season, it's strange time in Jacksonville. He led the tight ends in week 15 with 12 targets, 11 catches. The second year pro is averaging a very respectable 6 targets and 10 fantasy points per game in the contest without Ingram this season. Strange next draws the Raiders defense, which isn't that great, which has been among the league's worst at stopping tight ends in 2024. He could be the answer for your tight end problems if you have one. I don't have one. I don't
Yeah,
have
dude,
a
you've been
tight end
taking
problem.
X lags.
I got a.
That's why.
My wife
Loose
even
end.
says I have a nice tight end.
All right. All right. Let's go on to the next
Hey,
tight end we recommend. Chigoziem Okonkwo. I wanted to give DL this one so bad, but he has not messed up any names this episode, which is a record because he messes up a name every episode. He is rostered in less than 10% of fantasy leagues. Okonkwo is coming off a season high 8 catches on 10 targets. Now, he has a matchup against a Colts defense that has been one of the league's worst against tight ends. He's only recorded more than 9.5 fantasy points twice all season. Now keep that in mind. But both of those games came within the last 4 weeks, so he's getting hot. Okay, Chig is not a bad plan B if you don't get a chance at Brenton Strange. Deal? Tight end Wasteland
tight
hasn't been
end
that bad this year.
wasteland. Not towards the end. Ooh, I just ran and grabbed a beer. So our next guy we're going to talk about is Stone Smart. These are some good names. I'm
Hell
glad I
yeah.
didn't have to get Chicks. He's rostered at 0.3%. I know Smart is still a relevant unknown, but Will Disley missed another game with a shoulder injury, and Hayden Hurst isn't active off IR. Smart will be in line for plenty of playing time. How can you not be intrigued by his trajectory? Say that 3 times fast. After seeing his most extensive game extensive game action yet in week 14 when he made uh, 3 catches on 3 targets for 54 yards, the former college quarterback slash wide receiver made 5 catches on 6 targets for 50 yards on Sunday. The Chargers will now face the Broncos, who have been middle of the pack defense against fantasy tight ends. So it wouldn't be shocking to see Smart drop double digits points on Denver if the Los Angeles tight end number 1 again. Gotta get my cardio up, dude.
Jesus
Woo.
Christ, bro. I'm dying over there.
I know. It was bad. I didn't want to. I was trying to make it so it didn't seem like I left, but blew
No,
that.
you left.
All
All
right,
right,
let's
deal.
talk
Let's go with
about some. Yeah, let's
defenses.
talk about
Yeah.
your D. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you the first D. Unfortunately, it's the Green
Cheesesteak.
Bay Packers. Now they are 10-4, and they're rostered at just a tad under 55% of fantasy leagues. Green Bay's defense has now put up 12 or more fantasy points in 2 of the last 4 weeks, averaging 9.3 fantasy points per game in that span. Next up, the Packers host a crappy Saints team that is operating at far from full strength on offense. With 13 sacks in the last 3 games, Green Bay's D is playing too well to pass up if you are streaming. Let me give you another defense, and I'll leave it to DL to give you the last two. The next defense I'm going to recommend is the Cincinnati Bengals. They are 6-8, and they're rostered in less than 50% of fantasy football leagues. Yeah, it's been a horrific year for Cincinnati's defense, but perhaps Lou Anarumo's group can finish 2024 on a high note. You're welcome, DL. The Bengals D provided a season high 19 fantasy points thanks to a 4 interception day against the Titans this past week. And next week we'll face the Browns. By the way, the Titans are benching Will Levis. I was wrong. I thought he was going to be good. He has not been good. Okay. Now, anyway, the Bengals will face the Browns this week, who are mulling over a quarterback change because of Jameis Winston's turnover woes.
I think they actually named there's another guy.
Why you do that? It's
Ratner?
a high risk,
No.
high reward play.
Anyways, there's a new quarterback. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's all
Oh,
I
that was
got.
it.
You want to give us the
So
last two?
yeah, I will. We'll start off with Atlanta Falcons being rostered at 11%. Now they had an amazing game Monday night against those Raiders. They scored 22 points for me, so that was awesome. If you're streaming defense, the Falcons should be under consideration this week in Week 16. They actually host the Giants, so I'm gonna let it roll. You want to know why? Because the Giants suck. You have hosted by the Giants who have allowed a top 8 fantasy defense in 3 of the last 4 weeks. Whether it's Tommy DeVito or Drew Luck
Mm.
starting at quarterback for Big Blue, Atlanta's in play. So yeah, I would definitely roll these guys. If you can't get one of the top defenses, like maybe, obviously I think at this point it's going to be hard to like stream a lot of the good defenses because let's face it, we're in the playoffs, so nobody's giving up those guys. We're going to round things off or put a bow on it with defenses with the Indiana Colts that are rostered at 6%. I know the
Look on
Colts.
Indiana. No one does, only you.
What do you call them?
Indianapolis.
The Indy Colts. I know the Colts do not resemble a juggernaut on defense, but in Week 16 they draw the Titans, who have been the most generous team to fantasy defenses this season, and they catch a punchless Giants offense in Week 17. Indy, in conclusion, here is all about those matchups. It's not clear whether Will Levis or Mason Rudolph will be starting for Tennessee this week, but even if the giveaway prone Levis is bench, let's not forget the defense playing the Titans finished the top 7 in 2 of Rudolph's three starts earlier this season. So the Indy Colts are a great matchup. Really like Indy this year. I don't like them this year. I think I'd be a little cautious. So one thing I will say when you come to streaming, sometimes depending on the lineup, you want to be a little bit cautious. I would take Atlanta before I would take the Indy Colts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. I
'Cause
like
they're
it, Dale.
from Indiana.
Yeah, no one says that. But Dale, I do have some
I do.
questions before we sign off here.
Oh,
It is a very,
question
very
time.
important question. It's
Sure.
going to be in regards to my big money league. I'm in a big money league with a bunch of doctors and a bunch of old guys with classic cars. It's pretty cool. Um,
Can you drive them?
I have
Have they taken
no.
you around?
I've known them since I was like 18, so they
And
probably
they've
would let
never
me drive
taken
them.
you a ride?
And I'm an old guy, so
Wait, why are you hanging out with old dudes, bro?
when I used to work at a
Interesting.
bowling alley, at the Brunswick Bowling Alley in the food court, the guy who worked at the pro shop right next to the food court found out, or he heard that my friends and I loved fantasy sports, and he invited me into his fantasy football league when one of his co-owners or like another person in the league died, unfortunately, because they're old, older guys, and I've been in the league ever since. So, all right,
So
so let
you're
me
just
ask
like
you
a
these.
young buck hanging out with some old dudes
I'm not
playing
really that
fantasy.
young anymore. These guys are like they live vicariously through me, but it's cool because like anytime I
Mm.
come over, I used to, now it's legal. I used to bring some weed and we used to smoke it, and they used to
Oh,
like, oh
nice.
my god, he's so
They're
cool.
like,
Yeah,
oh, here's the
now it's
guy.
legal.
Don't
Yeah,
tell,
yeah,
don't tell Marjorie.
yeah. Don't tell Maud. Yeah. All right. So let me. I need to start a few guys. So I just want you to rank these guys in order. Okay.
Ooh, rank. Oh shit.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me give you names:
Go
Joe
ahead.
Mixon, Alvin
Okay.
Kamara, Isaac Guerrero, Rico Dowdle. Rank them in that order. I mean, whatever order.
I would go
I'll
Rico.
write it down. You go
Rico
Rico number
number
one.
1.
Wow.
Who's the guy before Rico? Oh,
Let me give you
Grendo?
one more time. Let me give you one more time.
No, I got it.
So make
So I'd go Rico, Grendo, Mixon, and I bet Kamara last for this week at least. Because I don't think he'll play. Mixon. Now here's the thing: if you were watching that game, Mixon got tackled again with one of those. Actually, you're not supposed to do the hip drop.
Horse.
He got
Oh, the
nailed
head
again.
tackles.
So the coach, which I feel is just a fart in the wind, but he had mentioned that like, oh, Mixon will be okay. But last time this happened, same type of tackle, Mixon was out
Let me
for
give you.
3 weeks.
Well, he's okay though, right? He wasn't like hurt or anything. He's fine.
Well, I don't know. We don't really know because we'll probably find out more on Wednesday
He didn't
and
miss any
Thursday
time.
as they go.
Okay. Well, let me
Yeah,
ask
but
you
he
this.
didn't miss timeout. He didn't miss last time this happened. Last time this
He
happened,
missed
same thing.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but wait, slow down, bro. Let me get to the point. So last time he got nailed with the hip, right? Went out of the game, came right back in, said the same thing, like, "Oh, he's fine," and then he was out for 3
Mhm.
fucking weeks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's the same situation, so
Okay.
I'd be a little cautious. Hence why he's
Well,
number
we'll
2.
keep this in mind. Something I might have left out. I might have said. Sorry. It's touchdowns only. I need people who only score. There's no yards. It's literally just touchdowns. So let me give you those names one more time. I know.
That is a weird
Rico.
well, actually
These guys
mixing
have been
them.
doing this. These guys have been
That's
doing this
weird.
fantasy league since like 1984.
Oh, so for
No lie.
40 years?
So I guess like one of the first years, like one of the first fantasy things like ever. They started it way early.
They started
Okay,
fantasy
so one more
football?
time. Yeah, in '84, that's when they did it. I didn't get into it until like 2010 or something. All right, so one more time: Rico Dowdle, Isaac Guerrero, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara. Touchdowns only.
Touchdowns only.
Rico Dowdle. I could give you matchups if you need them.
Yeah, I need matchups. That's what
Yeah,
I
I
was
got
about to
you.
look up.
I got you. Sorry about that. So here we go: Rico Dowdle against Tampa,
Okay.
Isaac Guerrero against Miami, Alvin Kamara against Green Bay, Joe Mixon against Kansas City.
Okay, so just leave Kamara out. I wouldn't even like
Okay.
think about him.
I like that.
Mixon,
Thank you.
Mixon, I would be watching the reports because we just spent a good like 5 minutes on that.
But if he's healthy, if they say
If
he's
he's
going,
healthy, I would go him. I would definitely go
One.
Mixon. If Mixon is
Number one.
healthy,
Okay.
just because of the simple fact that the Texans are going against the Chiefs, and the Texans
Yeah.
are still playing. I mean, the only thing is
Nice scoring
like
game.
I could see that too, but they've already made the playoffs. Like the Texans
Yeah.
have made the playoffs, the Chiefs have made the playoffs, so it's not
Great
like
point. Something that we don't talk about often. If a team's made the playoffs, keep that in mind. They're gonna once they go up, they're gonna put the young guys in,
Yep.
or they might not even play their starters just to
Yep.
conserve the
rest them,
stars.
especially if Mixon is a little banged up and they're
That's a
trying to win the Super
great
Bowl.
fucking point.
So that leaves us with Guerrero, honestly. Who's the 49ers? I'm sorry. Who are they playing against?
49ers this week are playing against the Miami Dolphins.
I don't mind that matchup. It's not a bad matchup. I would say like
Texans are
Miami's
in
kind of
first place
like
by 3 games. Golly, you're right. I might not want to start mixing. What do
exactly.
they have to play for?
Yeah, nothing. And if he is banged up, which he was, I mean, he wasn't like, oh, out of the game. But if they're gonna, I mean, think about it. If you're the coach, wouldn't you want fresh legs when you actually hit
Yeah,
the actual
100%.
NFL playoffs? Wouldn't be shocked if he plays like, maybe the first half. And it all depends on how he practices this week too. I'm telling you, that head coach, bro, he's like, so there was a whole Mixon bullshit that happened this year. Don't forget that, right? He was out for 3 weeks. Then you had Nico Collins, who was like, oh, he's day to day. He's week to week. He's day to day. He's week to week. Oh, no, he's on IR now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the coach, he's a fart in the wind, bro. Don't trust it.
Mm-hmm.
As my daddy said, never trust a fart. So yeah. I think Guerrero is probably what I mean.
So what are the Texans playing for a bye? Are they playing? I mean, I'm not a bye. Are they playing for like seeding? What are they playing for
They
right
might
now?
be. I don't know. Where are they at? They clinched the division, right? So look at the rankings.
Looking right now.
Now,
All
I'm going to look at my team and ask you questions.
Here we go. Sitting with the division title, does that mean Houston would get a bye in the AFC playoffs? Right now, no. The Texans would technically be the lowest seed among division winners. Should the season end on Sunday, they would host a playoff game against the top-seeded wildcard team.
So they're literally playing for nothing. Doesn't matter. They've already clinched the playoffs, so okay. So even if they win, they're still going to be playing the fucking wild card. So who gives a like? If it was me, I'm the head coach? Shit. Take a load off, Sally. Take a load on me.
I think I'm with. Whoa. Pause. Whoa.
You never heard that song? Take a load off, Sally.
All right, let me give you one more deal, and then
Take
we
a
can sign out of
load.
here. So you said you would go
So I'm giving
Mixon
you
1.
fantasy advice.
Well,
Okay.
you wouldn't go Mixon 1, right? You wouldn't go Mixon 1. You're saying you would go.
I don't know. That's tough. That is tough, bro.
Okay.
Because
So Mixon
Garindo,
1.
we just saw what happened to him, and the tape's out on him, right? And what are the 49ers playing for? Because they can't make the
Nothing.
playoffs.
But a young
Exactly.
running back trying to prove that he's worth it.
So there you go. So maybe he gets a little bit more
Rico
of an
Dowdle's
uptick.
trying to prove that he could play for the fucking Dallas Cowboys. Rico Dowdle's been killing. He's been hot. I think I go.
Yeah,
no
no,
matter
he's
what,
like top
Rico
3.
too.
I really do
He's
like
number
Rico.
2. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going Garindo,
Mixon,
Rico, and then Mixon?
Okay. I think I'm going Mixon, Rico, Garindo.
Okay. But who's
That's
Dallas
me.
playing? God, we're so bad at this.
Sorry, but Dallas is playing against Tampa.
Ooh, okay. And Tampa hasn't been like, I know we talked about grabbing Tampa's defense earlier this year, but haven't really been.
Well, let me give you the last one. So
Okay.
I think
Sorry.
I'm with you on any combination of Rico and either Mixon or Garindo.
Yeah. And keep
Now
keep
I
giving those
need
reports.
2 of 3 wide receiver, and then we're out.
Wait,
Okay?
wait, I'm
Here's my
sorry,
wide
2 or
receivers.
3 wide receivers?
2 of 3. 2 of 3.
2 or 3. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I need 2 or 3. Either get one less running back in what I just told you, or one more receiver, or one more running back, one less receiver. It's a little confusing. Just don't worry about it. I want you to rank
2 or
them.
3.
Okay?
2 out of 3.
Okay, here we go. Jamar Chase against Cleveland. Tyreek Hill against San Fran. Amon-Ra St. Brown against Chicago.
Ooh.
Brian Thomas against the Raiders. What's your ranks?
Ooh. Brian Thomas. I would really go with Chase number 1 because they're still trying to get it done. They are trying to get that shit
By a
done.
mile.
And they're not out yet. Right? They're still in it. They're still in the mix.
Yep.
So I would go Chase number 1 for fucking sure.
Okay.
And then you mentioned
Tyreek, Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas.
So I go Chase, Amon-Ra, and Brian. Brian's a sneaky little flex, bro.
I agree.
Dude, and you saw, and he's playing with Mac Jones. Like, Mac Jones loved him, bro. He was just like, bam, bam, right?
I agree with you.
And Jacksonville, like you said, is going against the Raiders. So, fuck yeah, bro. Let's eat. Ooh, I like that.
Brian Thomas or Isaac Garindo? Touchdown only.
Oh, man. 49ers are playing.
Brian Thomas against Las Vegas or Garindo against Miami?
I like Brian Thomas, man. Because think about it, it's his rookie year. Mac Jones is trying to prove something, right? Because he wants to get the fuck out of there. But you can make an argument for Garindo too, because he's, like you said,
I hear it.
A young running back who is third, right? Because McCaffrey's going to be back. Mason's probably going to be back. So, but I like Brian Thomas a little bit better because he is that rookie wide receiver, and he's working. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Mark Andrews against Pittsburgh. Brock Bowers against Jacksonville.
Give me Andrews.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, because I don't trust the quarterback situation at all with Brock Bowers. Like, Brock Bowers was doing really great when you had Minshew in there.
Yeah, or
O'Connell
right?
did good. He was serviceable.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, you are right, because and Andrews is playing the fucking Pittsburgh, right? I don't know if I'm in the playoffs. I'm gonna go touchdown only though, right? Fuck, wow. That is a tricky one. Because really Bowers, and I'm thinking out loud, sorry, phony homies, but Bowers is literally their only offense, right? Besides Jacoby Meyer. And Andrews hasn't scored a touchdown against Pittsburgh all year this year.
So with Aiden O'Connell, he had 49 yards one game, 140, 93, 71, 97, 41. So Aiden like forced
Cheeseburger.
the issue. Yeah.
Cheeseburger's looking a little tastier if Aiden's in there.
Yeah.
Huh?
If Aiden's in there, I want the cheese. I'll fucking
There you
bring
go.
cheeseburgers.
There you go. Just depends
I like
on
it.
if
If Aiden
Aiden's
plays,
there.
cheeseburger.
Yep.
Okay, I like that. I like that. All right, DL, it's time to put a bow on this. That's it for today's show, phony homies. Remember to shoot your start questions to us throughout the week by tweeting us, DL, where?
A tweet FFG.
And then remember also to use the hashtag so that we know that you're sending us a tweet, DL.
Ask us FFG.
And pretty simple, DL. Finally, if people want to send over email questions, we will read them live on air, any episode, always and forever. DL, what's that email?
Ask us FFG@gmail.com.
Awesome. And lastly, if people want to give us a phone call directly to my cell phone, what is that phone number, DL?
Area code 708-655-4508.
Thanks again for tuning in, Phony Homies, for DL and his awesome fantasy advice, and me, JC. We'll catch you guys on another fantastic episode of the Fake Football Guys Show. Like, share, subscribe, and
Smash!
notification button. Peace.
Good luck.